man.
Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins. By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, August 3rd. Camp is underway. We are 27 days from kickoff. We're within a
wow, Wilson.
We're here. Like we've arrived. Like we have stuff we can.
We didn't spend the weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway in that hellhole, so that was good news.
It looked awesome. You can't control the weather. People need to shut up.
Oh, did you see the food?
Yeah, I've seen one person. Did you see anyone else besides one person say that?
I guess not, but it's still even. I wasn't a part of it, so I don't. It's just funny to think about people buying full price hot dogs without the bun.
Let's use logic here. One person said it. I guarantee you they're like, hey, we don't have any buns left at the stand. Do you want to still buy it? And they're like, what's the cost? I'm like, well, I mean, I'm here making minimum wage, so I don't make those decisions. So full price. It's kind of on you if you keep buying it.
I wouldn't
swipe your card after that. That's
the
kind of
hot dog I could do. I would not buy nachos without cheese.
Depends on how hungry I am, but yeah, I'm with you. I've seen one person complain. I've seen one person complain about it. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it is insane how big the infield is at a NASCAR race where they could legit put another full baseball field in it.
And that's one of the smaller infields because most of them, like that's a quarter-mile track?
Yeah.
Most of them are like Talladega. I can't imagine how many baseball fields you could fit inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy until you actually like see it. But yeah, glad I wasn't a part of it because it looked. And again, like no one can really do anything about the weather, but that just sucks to be a part of. People were claiming it was the Fire Fest of baseball.
Which also, let's hold on a second. Let's address that. Do they realize that Fire Fest was a Fire Fest because people legitimately could not leave the island? They could have just left.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, you can leave Bristol in 4 different directions. It's real easy. If you just walk, you're going to hit a highway.
Right, and you went to watch the Reds and the Braves. Like, well, I mean, what did you really expect? Did you expect it to be like a great baseball game? No.
They had Pitbull.
Tim McGraw.
Apparently, he was lip singing.
Oh, was he? Okay.
That's the complaint I saw about him.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw people up in arms about it. I was more shocked that the MLB just tried to keep going.
Yeah.
Which I get. You want to make it happen when it's an event like that. But at some point,
90,000 people buying a ticket. I guess you try to make it work.
Yeah. At some point, though, which I mean, they did reach that point. Just felt like way too late. I can't. Whose bat was it that went flying into the first base net?
No, I didn't even see that.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh god. I mean, I was asleep by then. I think I actually ended up falling asleep before the game started.
Okay.
I can't remember if I even saw the first pitch.
Because I know Chase Burns he threw like an inning, and that was it. And they postponed it to the next day.
Yeah, it was actually. I mean, that was kind of cool that they were going to have Spencer Strider, Knoxville native, and then Chase Burns. Is he Where did he go to school? Can't remember.
He went to Beach.
So okay, Sumner County, pipe down, and UT, former UT player. Which we didn't get a video. Were there any good boos when he got announced?
I didn't see that, but that would have been sick.
Playing against the Braves.
Yeah, but you're so far away. Can you really hear the boos? I mean, they might have
loud to me when we were in it for a football game. So I don't
yeah,
know.
I guess did you even know Chase Burns was on the? They announced it, but did you even know he was on the mound?
I saw Deuce would have loved this. There's a video of someone saying these umps suck, and it was someone arguing balls and strikes from like the highest seat.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
No, it was. I thought it was. I mean, I was shocked. I was shocked, not even without the weather, that the crowd looked as good as it did for the national anthem. That was pretty impressive. That's another thing. Like, there's like tailgating, like the stuff that makes Bristol great doesn't exactly exist in baseball, Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
but
could they
still
bring
did
their
it.
own beers in?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
You couldn't for the Tennessee game either, though.
oh, okay.
Correct? Yeah, I mean, no, yeah, we definitely weren't allowed to.
Yeah, but we did have a whole case before.
Warm beer, baby.
Good times. Yeah, like we did our one-time deal with.
Well, that's it. I mean, we
Bristol.
could have told everyone it was going to suck. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of what you usually experience on a game day, it's going to suck.
Yeah. Yeah, people were asking me at work. They're like, "Are you going to go?" I'm like, "Hell no."
Would you have gone if the Yankees had played?
Honestly, with the way they're playing right now, probably not.
I mean, I kind of wanted to go just because it's probably the only time that's going to happen. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
If I was free this weekend, I would have gone. And it's not like I had like hard set in stone plans. I just already had.
Did they sell the entire stadium?
No, they sold
like half of it.
I think it was a little bit more than half.
Okay.
Because where essentially the third base line was running from running perpendicular to the track.
Sure.
Pretty much wherever that third base line was, they sold forward.
Gotcha. I was about to say they put it on like one side of the stadium, so like if you got a ticket on the other side, that would suck.
No, I don't think they.
You're never. I mean, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that brought gloves and stuff. I bet hardly
No
any
way.
people got a foul ball.
You think anyone brought a glove besides those people down on the field?
No, I guarantee people brought gloves.
There's no way.
I guarantee it.
There's no way. Can you imagine someone sitting in the upper deck of Bristol with a glove on for that game?
Oh, dude, I'm sure it happened. I wish I need to do a little stroll on Twitter to see like pictures of the crowd to see if I could spot anybody, because that'd be awesome.
There's no way.
Well, I mean, the Battle of Bristol's. I mean, or Bristol's not gonna do that. They're gonna blur them out like Tennessee.
Ooh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Who do you think it was?
I think it was Jake Merklinger.
Really?
It was either him. It was a double digit number, so it wasn't Joey.
I thought someone said it was a single digit.
When I saw it, it looks like blurred out 2 numbers there. So I think it's Merck or McIntyre.
Okay.
But also, like, who cares? Fall camp is
no.
That happens.
I think it's hilarious that they did it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't play at all in college, and I would get interceptions in fall camp. Like it just, I don't know. Fall camp is just it's brutal. And I know a lot of people even got a concern about this as the wide receivers, with drops and injuries. I mean, the media sees a smidge of practice. And they've spent in fall camp, they're going from 5:30 basically to about 8 to 9 at night is how long fall camp usually runs. So, I mean, I'm not going to really take anything with the drops. Yeah, I don't want to see that. But at the same time, is was that just a one-off? Like, are drops really a concern in practice? I don't know. But I think it's anything that you see on social media about fall camp is take it with a grain of salt.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. I think it was more for the comedic factor anyways of we're not going to let you know who threw that.
Yeah. And that's funny. A lot of people are like, oh, they don't
someone
fan bases are joking about that. I'm like, I think it's hilarious.
Well, I don't think Kentucky jokingly stitched together that one video last year. So,
right. What about?
I do think it would be funny if someone went back into LSU's video and blurred out the TV tower.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I mean, Tennessee has this come out. Let's not forget what LSU tried to put out yesterday.
Yeah, they put out a death threat.
Yeah, basically.
All time. And maybe Tennessee didn't do it as a joke. Maybe it was just I don't know, whatever, but
yeah. And with the injuries, I assume those guys are day to day. They probably just took today off, did a little individual work and called it a day. I mean, there's not a ton of depth at receiver right now. And I think if somebody is maybe has a little nagging injury, to maybe take it easy. I don't think there's anything to that. Now, I would like Chris Brazzell to get back on the practice field at some point, but I don't think any of those injuries right now are going to keep them out of a football game come August 30th.
I'd be surprised, but I also don't love that that a whole lot of our wide receivers are injured right now, but we also don't know the extent of them. So I'm not going to hit the panic button mode. Mm-hmm. I'm also we'll probably go 8-4 without him anyways. So
yeah, I mean, you're getting a lot of those freshman looks, and I think that's a good thing because you're probably going to rely on them some. So getting them as many reps as possible is not a bad thing, but you definitely want it's a new quarterback and a new system, and you definitely want to get all that, timing and everything down before the season gets here. So yeah, I would like to see him on the practice field, and maybe they just missed that period and they came right back out and did individual work. No one knows.
We should stop letting any players play in those individual periods. It should just be GAs out there working, setting up. That should be the only period open to the media.
Well, I think that's a dangerous game too. Have you seen is it Blake Brown? He's a LSU assistant. He juked out a freshman DB in practice. And
doing what?
Just running a drill, and the guy just got juked out of his shoes, and then it was.
Well, see, but I don't, and we'll get Ryan's take on this because this is going against his job. But I think just only GAs out there during the open media period. Don't let anybody the open media period is just GA setting up for practice. That's it.
We should get stuff for them, stats for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see that. What do you think about stats on GAs, Ryan?
For how quickly they're setting stuff up and stuff like that?
Well, that too. That would be awesome.
How hard they're using the pads when.
Oh, they're the ones going through drills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of routes on air with actual players, we do it GAs.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a huge fan of that, but
do you keep stats at all when you watch practice? Do you keep stats at all?
This year is the first time I ever have.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm writing it into practice observations, very much take into account. This is 5 minutes of us
Routes
watching.
on air.
It's routes on air. Like, it's really not that much to glean from. But at the same time, if they're going to let us watch 15 minutes of practice, and you kind of got to try to make the most of it, and there's a quarterback competition going on. So that's kind of my thought process. I don't, from what we've seen, I'm sure we'll get into more of it. You could say this guy's been better or worse, but at the end of the day, it's a collection of probably 20 minutes that we've watched. So it's, you kind of take it with a grain of salt that it's very, very little compared to what actually is going on during practice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got right into it, but welcome Ryan Shumpert, a man who needs no introduction because he's been on this show quite a bit. But yeah, Ryan Shumpert, Rocky Top Insider. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you guys having me on. Glad to get back on here as we start getting a little bit closer to football season.
Absolutely.
I'm considering us here, by the way. I mean, we're in
Oh,
it. It's Hall of Fame games happened. Fall camp's going. I mean, we're here.
It's a real tease. Like, the first week of fall camp's pretty good. Like, you're seeing the guys for the first time, a couple of those early practices we get to watch a little bit more of. And then it kind of becomes a grind, and they stop letting us watch practice at some point here in a couple weeks. And that's when it gets tough. Because you're right. Right now, it does feel like we're here. And then we're going to, in like another week, it's going to be like, it's kind of getting into a slog. And then you get to game week. And game week is when you're fully back.
Yeah. So what do hours look like for you? Or do they change when the season actually gets here, or are they about the same?
It kind of just varies. Like, it's about September will be about the same. October gets a little bit crazier because you have more basketball stuff going on. Baseball, fall practices get going, so I get going over there. But no, really, August and September are, I would consider, two of the lighter months, at least for the guys like myself and Ben and Mike, and to cover all men's basketball, baseball, and football, kind of doing a little bit of all that. I consider these kind of early football months. They're usually a little bit slower just because, for the most part, there's not as much basketball and baseball going on.
Have you ever thought about putting in your bio 3-sport journalist athlete?
I need to pull that out because I write it frequently in these recruiting stories. If I can find stuff on a person football recruit that runs track or plays basketball too. Like, especially if occasionally you can like track down some basketball stats. I love to be able to throw that into a story and give them a shout out as a 2-sport star. So yeah, I like it. 3-sport writer.
Yeah, 3-sport writer. Okay, I like that. Yeah, you should do it in your bio and don't tell Ben or Mike and see if they notice at some point.
Because that would be a good exercise.
Then
I'm sure they'd notice at some point, but it would my guess is it would take a while.
Yeah, then you'll know that they're reading your articles, so they're taking stuff from you.
I could really flip it on them and be like, "Oh, I've had this for 2 months. You never click on any of my stuff."
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now.
Yeah, help a brother out.
Exactly.
This just kind of dawned on me too. We're talking about closed practice periods. Have you considered gifting one of the coaches like the AI glasses and seeing if they'll wear them to practice and you get some behind the scenes footage that no one has? That's an option.
I don't think I even know these like glasses that have like a camera in them. What exactly are they?
I think so. Ray-Ban like has the new ones, I guess, that they just record clips. I don't know how it works.
The all-time version of this was at Oklahoma. And I can't remember if it was like a dorm room, maybe like kind of like how Stokely is, where you can see. And the student reporter went and watched practice and saw Caleb Williams was taking first team reps. I think it was the week of the Texas game over Spencer Rattler and reported it. And that thing was like Oklahoma lost. Like Lincoln Riley went crazy. A bunch of media stuff got revoked. So that's the peak example of watching it from whatever the building was. Like, they have people, as far as I know, like up there on the Stokely garage to keep people from watching practice. They're committed to it. As I like to say, they're like they think it's the CIA.
I don't remember that story. That's crazy. I get that's a good reason why these practices are closed, but like NFL preseason, it's all just wide open. It blows my mind. You'd think we'd see some crazy trick plays if we're going to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Like I get it during the season from that aspect. I don't know. To me, I think they take things way too seriously. Like, I think the Wake Forest scandal a handful of years ago, when like the color commentator was selling information to opposing teams, like just led to the paranoia, where it's like you said, NFL teams, they get to watch media gets to watch every single second of practice. Like I think it's pretty overblown. Tennessee basketball, you can watch all of practice. Tennessee baseball, you can watch all of practice. Doesn't seem like it's really hurting those programs too much. So Tennessee's not alone in it. I don't want to single out Tennessee and rip them, because I think most major college football programs are by and large in this same boat. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, like you said, especially compared to the NFL, when that's the NFL and it's completely open at all times.
Yeah. In my view, it shows that the worst kept secret is that there are people actively trying to infiltrate practices. It's like, yeah, I know I've got people out there helping me, so there's probably people helping them. That seems like what it tells me.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, it would make sense. It's always interesting to me too, like what they will and won't let us film on a given day. Like, what's the thing that they're like, all right, no, you can't film this, because like a lot of times it's literally just like mesh point on handoffs. And it's like, what? Why would we not be able to film this? Red zone routes on air, we can never film. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely.
Have you seen anything unique enough that you like red zone routes on air that you're like, okay, that's an interesting wrinkle?
Not in red zone routes on air. I will say this year there has been, in stuff we can film on routes on air, interesting wrinkles. Like a couple days ago, they had some play action rollout throws where it's like, that's not anything we've ever seen in Heupel's system. Today, which we weren't able to film today. So maybe this is why we weren't, but they were doing routes on air reps with like the splits were not nearly as wide. Receivers much closer to like where the offensive line would be. So there's some things that like this year have been a little bit interesting. And again, we weren't able to film today, so maybe that was the reason why. I'm not really sure. But again, like the rollouts, like play action rollouts, looked like it would have been out of like a pistol set. We were able to film the other day. So there's been some interesting stuff from the first week that has been different than what we've always seen in the past.
So no more gimmicky offense, huh? We're just normal splits, not as fast.
It's what Joey Halsley said on whatever day it was, Tuesday last week, I guess, before fall practice started, where he's like, our main thing all offseason has been, how do we create explosive plays when these teams are playing 3-3-5 and just playing prevent coverage? And I think the Nico stuff, rightfully so, and the new quarterback kind of shifted what the conversation of the offseason was. But when the season ended, like that was one of my biggest questions was like, how are they going to adjust? And obviously the proof will be in the pudding. The proof will be in what we actually see on the field. But it does seem like they are making some adjustments and some changes to how they attack at least certain coverages, or at least how certain teams have been defending them.
Okay.
Is there in the very minimal you've watched, is there a quarterback that stands out among the rest, or are they all
kind of have their moments?
Okay.
I think I've seen, and we haven't seen him throw a bunch of stuff down the field, which I think is where Aguilar, that's the strength of his game. It's not really as much considered a strength of Merklinger's game. But I think Merklinger's looked good. He's been accurate and on time throwing the football and the stuff that we've seen. I'd give credit to George McIntyre. He had a rough first day or two in what we saw, and he's been really good bouncing back. So each guy I think has had days where they've been better than the other. I would say Merklinger has been a little bit more consistent in what we've seen. And again, that's kind of where I'll be curious. Usually, obviously, some of it changes year to year. Usually we do see them throw some deep balls and routes on air, and we really haven't seen that yet. So I'll be curious if that does happen at some point while we're out there, how those two guys look like. Because it does feel like the short underneath stuff plays a little bit more to what Merklinger is supposed to excel out compared to Aguilar.
You talk about the quarterbacks and just the team as in general. Like, do they look any different than years past, or is there anything that kind of stands out to you about this team?
Yeah, I think they continue, and there's been a little bit of this every year. They just continue to look, I think, more like what you'd expect a Georgia or Alabama to look like from just a physical standpoint. And I think I almost thought we weren't going to see that step this year, like another step in that direction, because they lost, especially on the defensive line, so many dudes. They lost a lot of these like fifth-year guys who, obviously, you're playing SEC football for 5 years, you're going to look like a dude. So many of the young guys just like jump off the page of looking the part. Marion Dye does not look like a freshman Jaden Harmon, Jaden Perlotti don't look like freshmen. Ethan Utley today, I mean, he looks incredible. Like for you, to me, I think you rarely see like interior defensive linemen come in and look like sophomores, juniors. Ethan Utley looks the part. And then the receivers, I think people have seen more of. But I mean, Travis Smith looks all world getting off the bus. Rodarius Jackson looks good. So I think that's maybe something that, especially that first week, it's a lot of seeing guys for the first time in another number of months or the first time in a year in some instances. And this team, I do think they continue to – we've talked about it, the blue chip ratio going up. Tennessee, for the first time, having over 50% blue chip guys. It feels like that matches what you see, and just from a appearance standpoint. And I don't know, we're a little bit past it because they've looked better the past couple of years, but it's, not night and day, especially on defense. What they looked like in like 2021 when you go to practice, it just could not look any more different from an athletic standpoint.
Yeah, they've done well in recruiting. I think that's been something we keep hearing, and maybe that's just a freshman thing that everybody wants to see the freshmen every single year. But I do think there is more and more like key contributors that are freshmen. And I think that's kind of been Josh Heupel's MO a little bit. Is he's going to recruit guys out of high school. He's not just going to hit the portal.
Yeah,
he's going to do that and basically just fill holes. Is that kind of where you lean as well, like with Heupel so far?
For sure. I think they definitely would rather do things through the high school and then try to retain the top end talent guys, as opposed to, because I mean, look, let's be real. To get the better players in the portal, you really have to overspend. Like that's just because teams that are desperate are going to spend money on them. So I think that's definitely how he wants to build it. Yeah, LSU. Like this past year, what was I'm blanking his name, the offensive lineman from Northwestern that Tennessee thought they were going to get, and then LSU comes in last minute and just offers them an absurd amount of money.
Have we considered funneling money from our children's hospital? We have one too. Just wondering.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's not far. It's not far from campus.
Oh, nice.
No, it's real close. I think we should consider it. I mean, they like nothing really seemed to kind of come of that. I think one guy got fired.
Yeah,
I guess that sucks for his family, but whatever. I mean,
that's an all
cost of business.
All-time crazy SEC football story. Funneling money from the children's hospital to pay football players. But no, I think specifically with this team, like kind of like what I was saying, the Kobe guys are gone. All these dudes that played 5 or 6 years are gone, and Tennessee didn't go heavy into portal. That combination, like, just leads to you're going to have to play more young players. You're going to be a younger team. So I think that's, and look, we've heard Josh Heupel, we've heard a number of assistant coaches talk about it. That the line they keep using is the young guys don't have time to be young, and I think that's leads to what could be really interesting this year, just because I think they're going to play more young guys than ever, and I think those young guys are more talented than they've been. But still, that doesn't make it easy playing early in the SEC.
Yeah, I think when you just look at the depth chart altogether, like there's gonna just have to be a mix of young guys. One place like I'm interested to see, and there's a older transfer that comes in that may impact it. Running backs. I know you probably haven't gotten much of a take of them on as far as camp goes, but how do you view that room going into the fall?
No, I'm fascinated by that room because I feel like every day I alter my opinion on like the order of those three guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Deshaun Bishop, when he's played, has been the best. I think you have to have a question about his ability to stay healthy for a full season. But he was real. I mean, he was really effective when he played last year, and he continues to look better. I think Peyton Lewis looks fantastic. I think he's slimmed up a bunch. He's got. It's almost a little bit of a reverse thing, but he almost has like a reverse Jalen Wright to me, where both of them track stars, all speed. Jalen Wright was smaller back when he came in and then added the muscle, whereas Peyton Lewis was real big, I think almost to a little bit of his detriment last year. And now, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited. I think he could be kind of the big play back. And then Star Thomas, I mean, has a proven track record. He's produced and he looks the part. I think he's probably looked the most comfortable to me running routes, catching the ball out of the backfield. Not that Tennessee does that a ton with their running backs, but certainly could be, a role that he kind of seizes. And, Chase, our buddy Chase, has been all over this of like Tennessee first 3 years under Heupel rotated so much at running back. And then last year they rotated so little. How much of that was Dylan Sampson just being the guy in that room and being as good as he was, and how much was that having Sims, a new running backs coach, in who is just leaning towards he doesn't want to rotate as much compared to Jerry Mack. Like I think we'll figure that out this year because I think all three of those guys are talented, and it'll be curious to see if it kind of goes back to 23, especially when you had Small, Wright, and Sampson who were all good and all got a lot of carries and nobody was even close to a workhorse. Like I think you have that balance of talent here. So I'll be curious to see how much they hone in on one or two guys, or if they really do split those reps at least relatively even.
Which I think there's like a happy medium. I feel like we probably rotated too much with in 2023, especially. Yeah, 3 talented guys, you want to use them all, but no one ever had the chance to get comfortable and hit on just big moments. And then, I mean, we ran Dylan Sampson into the ground last year. We had to. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We had to.
Yeah.
But there was some talent behind him, too, that could have played a little more. So I got to think this is probably the year you find the balance based on just nobody that's just head and shoulders way above anybody else. And then you've got at least 3 of them, you think.
Yeah, I think the question becomes, can one guy prove that they are the best guy? Like, is there, even though to be way better? Like in 23, Jalen Wright was the best running back. I mean, he ran for like 1,000 yards on 120 carries. He was by far the best thing they had going on offensively. And again, you said it, Jabari Small is a good player. Dylan Sampson, obviously, we saw what he did last year. It just didn't feel like, for an offense that struggled a lot, it didn't feel like their best player got enough touches to me in 23.
Sure.
So you're right. What does this year look like? I completely agree that Dylan Sampson was the best thing the offense had going for it last year. They needed to ride him. He got into the college football playoff. He largely, and obviously it's a team game, defense was fantastic. They got, to me, as much as they could have gotten out of the team last year with the talent that they had and some of the issues offensively. And D-Samp was a huge reason why. So what does that look like this year? Can one of those guys separate as a number one? And if they do, what exactly does it look like?
Yeah, I think the bottom line with running backs is they're going to run the football and do it well, and they've done it since Josh Heupel's been here. Even though we get labeled as an air raid, we run the football effectively. I think almost close to 3,000 yards last year, and a lot of that with an offensive line that people are like, they weren't very good last year. So what's this offensive line look like to you, or do you kind of have any expectations? I know we talked about it a little bit, but just the tackles in general of how important those guys are to make this whole offense hum like it did back in 2021 or 2022.
For sure. I mean, that's the best version of Tennessee in 2022 had an All-American in Darnell Wright. And you really got away with the left tackle spot, rotating Gerald Mincey and Jeremiah Crawford. Like, you get away with that when you can slide protections and stuff like that, and you just feel good about the other side. So I'm buying into the Lance Hurd hype. I really think he's going to be a lot better this year. To what level, all SEC, All American, first round draft pick, I don't know, but I do think he's going to be vastly improved. I think David Sanders is just a question mark. Like, I think he's clearly an extremely talented kid. He, I think, has done as much as he can possibly do in the time that he's been on campus to get himself ready to play. But it's just a whole different beast being out there in games as a true freshman at offensive tackle in the SEC. I mean, Caden Proctor, look, I haven't looked at a ton of mock drafts. I would guess Caden Proctor is going to be a first round pick this coming NFL draft.
Sure. Yeah.
He started as a true freshman at Alabama. He was terrible the first half of the season. Horrible.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a first-round pick, and he's very much been the part. And look, Jordan Seaton, obviously a guy Tennessee missed out on, was good. And Colorado was a true freshman last year, different conference, though. So I think Sanders, it's just a huge question mark. And then I think they're going to be fine at guard. Center, they lose all 3 starters in the interior. I think they're fine at guard. I think Mo will be an upgrade. Center's the one that, I'm just curious. Cooper Mays was a really solid player, played a ton of football for Tennessee. And certainly the combination of new quarterback, new center, I think there's a lot of inexperience. There's a lot of question marks about the offense, but that's one you would maybe feel a little bit better with the inexperienced quarterback if you had a more veteran guy at center. So that's kind of the spot that I'd say that and right tackle, I'm curious about. I think they're going to be really good at left tackle. I think they're going to be good at guard. What can they be at those 2 spots?
Yeah, I think that's those alarm bells are fair. Like, oh, this could be. I mean, those are areas that we struggled at last year at times, and we had experience there. So it's like, when you bring in new guys and potentially some guys that not only are new to campus but haven't played that position on campus or anywhere, maybe a challenge too. Defensively, what are your? I think I'm underselling our offense, but I might be overselling our defense. How do you feel about that side of the ball as a whole?
I feel really good. Like, I would like everybody
compared to last year. Do you think about the same, better, worse?
I think about the same. I would be more willing to say better if Jermon McCoy didn't tear his ACL in January.
Yeah,
like if you and look, I think they're good behind him. I think they have good options, but he's just a game changing player. Like, how many games last year did he make game changing plays in? So it's just it's a different beast when you have him. But look, I think they're going to be better at linebacker. Again, I really like the secondary. Safety's a little bit of a question mark, but I think they'll be fine there, even if they're a little bit worse than they were last year. Linebacker, I think they'll be better when you consider the Keenan Peely injury. Like, I didn't think the linebacker room was all that great after Peely got hurt. And then defensive line, it's just, who off the edge can replace some of that production from James Pierce. But I don't know, man. Rodney Garner's group's the least of my concerns on any Tennessee football team. So, and I think to kind of go back to the last point too, and Caleb, you said it, like a lot of the areas that are concerns on this team offensively, they weren't very good at last year. Like, the offensive line wasn't good last year. The passing game wasn't good last year. So while there maybe isn't a ton of reason to think they're going to be way better, even though I do think the offensive line could be better, they won 10 games with that group. Like, it's not like they can really be that much worse than they were at their spots. So again, that's why I continue to think that aspect, partnered with the fact that the defense, I think, it's going to be really good again. To me, the floor is just high. If long as they're not turning the ball over a bunch and handing free points to opponents, like, I don't know. I don't see too many teams on the schedule that give me a ton of cause for concern.
I'm glad you mentioned turning the ball over, because that's been the point I've seen mentioned about Joey Aguilar a lot. He is a very much one of these new age type dual threat quarterbacks who high risk, high reward kind of players. Do you think that's potentially something Josh Heupel and Tennessee fans, if he's your starter, may have to accept that, hey, he may make some big plays, but he's going to make some big mistakes too? Do you think there's a point where Heupel can reel that in and still get the big reward plays without the big risk plays?
Yeah, I think some of it for sure. I think, and maybe this goes back to our conversation, if Tennessee's going to change how they do things, but I think the offense they've run has limited interceptions. Like, you just don't have to throw into traffic as much because of the wide splits. Joe Milton had interception issues. I mean, Hendon Hooker had interception issues at Virginia Tech, and neither of those things were huge issues. I mean, Milton threw some bad ones at bad times in a handful of games, but still, just as a quantity, they weren't super large. So I don't think it'll be as bad as it was last year at App State. I think it's unwise to think there's not going to be some of it still. To me, it's what you said. If you get the big plays out of it, I think you can live with it. If this offense can get back to creating explosive plays in the passing game, I think you live with a handful of interceptions. But then there's that fine line of, if you're not getting those plays, you're not hitting those, and you have a really good run game and you have a really good defense, are you better suited to kind of play like they did last year and play conservatively and play into that, not taking a risk? If you
score in the first half, yes. Yeah. If you don't, just abandon all hope. Just give it up.
Yeah, again, to the point a minute ago, literally they didn't score in the first half in the month of October. Like, the offense was not good last year. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. It's something I've wrestled back and forth with a lot when thinking about this team, and specifically thinking about the quarterback competition.
I think it's unreasonable to think he doesn't throw a little bit more than what we've seen the last couple of years, because the interceptions have been very minimal. It's where they come. Yeah. Is it just a third and long, a long punt? Basically, you can live with that all day long if you're trying to make a play. But if it's in the red zone, where Tennessee's been pretty bad the last couple of years, I think that's when is Joey Aguilar even going to be your starter at that point? Because I don't think Josh Heupel is going to put up with that if there's somebody behind him that isn't going to make those same mistakes.
100%. Like, and we talk about the scoreless October in the first half. I think the thing that was so maddening about that, the Florida and Alabama games especially, they moved the football especially the Alabama game. They moved the football consistently in the first half and still couldn't score. Just turnovers at brutal spots. What, if I'm not mistaken, both the Florida and Alabama games, first drive of the game, turnovers. Maybe not the red zone, but plus field in scoring range.
Fumbles, right? Dylan Sampson.
2 fumbles, yeah. Mesh point on, I think, Florida, and then DSamp got stripped against Alabama. So you're absolutely right. I think the thing that, and this is what the quarterback debate as a whole, I think Heupel will have a bit of a chip on his shoulder of wanting to get the explosive plays, of not wanting to just play conservatively after losing Nico and after being an offensive guy and how the offense has been the last 2 years. That's why I continue to think Aguilar will, for multiple reasons, will get the first shot at it. Just because I think he's the higher ceiling quarterback, and I think Heupel is going to want to be aggressive until he has to go the other way.
Do you think if George McIntyre was a sophomore, like this would be like an even crazier competition? Because I think
100%.
he probably has the highest ceiling of everybody, just career-wise, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's a true freshman, so I kind of just already puts him down at the bottom.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, I thought we were going, and we still could, depending on how everything shapes out this year. I thought we were trending before Nico left to a real 3-way competition next season of Merck, McIntyre, and Faison Brandon for who's going to be a starting quarterback. And look, if Aguilar is that guy this year, you could still potentially have that. You know, obviously one of those guys could leave, but you could potentially have that. So it's just an experience thing, not having a year to work on his mechanics. I mean, Merklinger throws the ball significantly better now than he did it a year ago at this time because he's had a full year, not just in college football to learn and in the system to learn, but just to be working with good coaches and crisp up a lot of those mechanics. So, yeah, it would add a completely new element that would be really interesting, but also, like, you think about it, there. 4 weeks from yesterday is when they're kicking it off. You only got so many practices. You're trying to split those reps. It's hard enough to do that with 2 players, let alone 3.
Right.
It would be really, really interesting.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
McIntyre was a second-year guy.
You talked about the schedule a little bit ago. Is there a game that really sticks out to you to kind of be like the most important for Tennessee?
I think I would. Look, I did this story ranking them, and I think I had Florida number 1, and I think it's Florida and Oklahoma, and I think it's a little bit of like you don't want to get the what's the phrase, the cart ahead of the buggy or something. I don't know, some old timey phrase.
Yeah.
Like you got to win the Oklahoma game and take care of everything else for the Florida game to matter. Like to me, if just from an expectation standpoint, I think the goal for Tennessee should be going into Gainesville the second to last week of the year with 2 losses. Because you win that game, you're probably going to make, and then take care of Vanderbilt next week, you're probably going to make the college football playoff. And there's not a game, you know, and they can beat Georgia, they can beat Alabama. Besides those 2, they will likely be favored in every other game. I think Oklahoma is the next most challenging. Obviously, we'll see what the Mater kid from Washington State looks like. I kind of feel like he's been a little bit overhyped personally. I think people are getting a little too much into the Cam Ward transfer vibes of Washington State and ignoring the fact that he didn't play in the Pac-12. Like that schedule they played was very bad. It's a little bit different. But you know, Oklahoma's defense was really good last year. Their offense was just truly abysmal.
Yeah.
An abomination. So
I think their offense was bad outside of just quarterback issues too.
Yes, it was.
There were a lot of quarterback issues, but it wasn't just that.
No,
yeah, I feel like they made it. They made it
a
a quarterback issue, but it was just the offense as a whole. And they're playing the best quarterback the whole time. And you know, the guy ran around. I forget what his name was. It Van Buren? Is that who it was?
That was Mississippi State. Hawkins.
Yeah, okay. Hawkins. Yeah.
Yep.
Ran all over Tennessee's like 3rd team defense, and they pronounced him the starter going forward. That was dumb.
Yeah. That was, you're right. It was not simply a quarterback issue. Their offensive line was horrific. I mean, as anyone who watched that Tennessee game could tell you, I mean, Tennessee just manhandled them up front, which they did that to a number of teams, but few to that extent. So that's what I'd say. And look, I just think you're at the point now, until they stack a couple years where they don't drop a bad game on the road, you're looking at what are the games on the road that on paper Tennessee should win. And to me, that's Mississippi State and Kentucky. Kentucky, I don't know, man. You gotta see it to believe it. The Tennessee's gonna lose to Kentucky. Like, I just not really worried.
Burn it down if they do. I mean,
they basically got a D8 quarterback. How long has Zach Calzada been?
Yeah, Zach Calzada is literally the Arrested Development video. Does it ever work for those people? No, they somehow delude themselves into thinking it might.
Yeah,
but it might work for us.
Did that A&M team? Did they beat Alabama with Zach Calzada?
Yeah,
yes,
it was Zach Calzada.
Yeah. So he's just getting the Diego Pavia treatment. We're like, we know you're not that good, but you beat Alabama.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So I don't know. Maybe I lean more into Mississippi State was pretty terrible last year too. I would probably
bring Van Buren. I mean, this might be their only good player, but he's good.
He left.
New quarterback.
Oh, he did leave. Yeah, where did he go?
Yeah,
I think he's at LSU as a backup.
Yeah,
because he was good.
Right.
It's gonna be the guy. I think it's Schaefer.
They ran him. They ran him off.
Baylor,
pretty much.
He's from Baylor. He was at Mississippi State last year. He got hurt early in the season.
Okay.
But he was good at Baylor. I don't think he was great last year early when he played for State. So that's kind of the game I would lean more to, just because, again, I mean, Tennessee should win, but they've lost some games they should win on the road. And
that's the game I'm marking, that if they lose one on the road, it'll be that game. Lennon is trying to go to it. Absolutely not will I subject myself to that, just in case.
Yeah, I'm not a road dog. I'm not a Casey Clausen. I don't have ice in my veins when I'm on the road, but I feel like it is a good one to just mark off the list at some point.
Ask him the last 2 road games he's been to, Ryan.
What are the last 2 road games you've been to?
Arkansas in 2023. 2024. 2023 was Florida. 2022 was South Carolina.
I forgot that he went
run.
I forgot that he went to South Carolina.
I did go to LSU in 2022.
We did go to that one too. Yeah.
It's been all downhill from there.
Yeah,
that's tough. I will say on the Arkansas front, I've now been 3 trips to Fayetteville, and Tennessee sports teams are combined 0-6 in those games.
Did you go
baseball series this year?
Okay, yeah.
Football this year, and the baseball series in 23 when they got swept. So I've yet to see a win for the Vols in 6 tries in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
That's tough.
When does
I think that
basketball
might be
play there? You need to go try your luck.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it's such a long trip. It's tough to do for a basketball game. That's where
there's no easy way to get there.
No easy way to get there. In baseball, you get your worth. You get 3 days of games. Like, you feel like basketball's a 2-hour game, so it's tough to feel like it's worth it. I'm trying to think about it now. It might be the only. I guess them and Florida are the only SEC schools that I have been to games at, and I've not seen Tennessee win. But I've only been there for Florida for football. So
okay, I was going to ask if you didn't go for baseball.
No.
What year did they open that facility? Did we sweep them that year?
Yeah, I think in 22. I think was the first year of that facility.
And that's the helmet picture. Yep, right.
That is the helmet picture. Yep.
Yeah.
Christian Moore had the home run and the RBI. Christian Scott, I don't know if it was a home run necessarily, made a great defensive play to end the game.
Yeah.
That was a great series.
God, what a good week for those two in the Florida helmets. For Blake Berg got called up, and Christian Moore is back in the big.
Yeah, it's exciting. I kept on wondering when Blake Burke was going to get called up. It felt overdue. So exciting. He's in Knoxville this week. I'm hoping to go watch him one day. And then, Christian Moore, poor high A pitchers that had to face him this week during his rehab assignment. It was 4 games, and that was enough to get him back to the show.
Yeah, what did he go, like 6 for 10, something like that?
I think 6 for 11 with
6 for 11.
walks.
Okay,
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
What did Blake Burke end up in high A? What was his ERA? Because at one point it was like 3.24, something absurd.
I think it
well
ended,
into June.
Yeah, I think he's cooled off. I think it ended like around 290. I should know. I wrote this yesterday. I think it was right around 290. But still, I will say, like,
crazy.
You look at the averages that minor league baseball players hits. That's extremely high.
Oh yeah, I mean, you go to the Smokies and you're like, I mean, it's cool if somebody's like at 325 or 225. Like a lot of them are 190, 200. Like it's pretty rough watching some
It's
of those games.
a lot of 220 guys that are trying to hit for power.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's just the game.
It is 100%. And also Blake Burke, his numbers, I think he had like 5 home runs, which are like, oh, that's not as many as I'd expect. He had like 22 doubles. He is continuing his trend from 24 at Tennessee of just all Tennessee's single season double leader. And he's doing it again in minor league ball.
I wanted to ask you, you tweeted out the lines, I think yesterday, and it was Syracuse's Tennessee's minus 13.5. Is that line just crazy high to you?
It was when I had first seen it, because that one actually had been out for a while.
Yeah.
It was. Because again, you were talking about first game of the year, all these question marks about Tennessee's offense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like Syracuse is in the same boat. Like they are also one of the teams that had to go out in the portal and get a quarterback in the spring, and Angeli from Notre Dame. They lose production offensively, and their defense wasn't very good last year anyway. So I guess I can
dove into them a little bit.
A little bit, not as much as we'll end up doing, obviously, but kind of like when I saw that number, and really when Nico left, and you kind of like, all right, this feels like a more losable game. Started looking into them more and what they have back, because they were pretty good last year, especially for Syracuse, and I believe that was Fran Brown's first year, if I'm not mistaken, maybe his second year. But they were pretty good, and you're kind of like, oh, this feels like could be a much harder game than expected, but they just lose a ton offensively, and again, their defense was not very good last year.
Yeah. And they don't, I mean, that's not a hotbed for recruiting. Like, no one's just dying to go to Syracuse either. So, yeah, it makes sense. I just think 13.5. It's crazy because people were thinking like, oh, Tennessee could go 6-6.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess they could, but that would be. Yeah. I think that's, if they beat Syracuse, I think 6-6 is, I mean, that would be a terrible season.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it just goes back to what we were saying. Like, fully reasons to believe the defense is going to be as good as it was last year. They've run the ball well every single year under Heupel, and it wasn't like they were 2022 offense throwing football last year. Like, they weren't very good throwing football. So those are question marks. They might be worse, but I don't know. It's literally the only thing that worries me on that aspect. It really doesn't worry me much, but I can't remember who I saw tweeted it out. It's like the last 2 or 3 years, Tennessee's 7-1 in one-score games, and the general thought is those things typically even out over time. So that's like really the only thing that I would say would worry me on like the floor falling out is you just have some terrible close game luck or something like that. But even then, like how many of those games are even going to be less than a touchdown point spreads?
Oh yeah.
Maybe Mississippi State, if they look better. It wouldn't be right now, I don't think. Obviously, Oklahoma will be.
Florida
Arkansas,
will be. Maybe
Arkansas is way better. Like, none of those games, I think, are going to be projected to be close, which doesn't mean they can't be close, but it's not like
that one-score game, though, has to be Arkansas this past year.
It is. Yep. Because, I mean, you just go back through the losses. And Alabama, I think, in 23 is a little misleading because that was a competitive game that Tennessee just laid an egg in the second half. But Missouri got killed. Florida, they got killed in 23. Obviously, Georgia's beaten them. This past year was more competitive, but pretty handedly most years. So, but really, I mean, I just don't feel like Tennessee plays a ton of close games really either. Because it feels like the bad teams, even with the offense not being as good, the bad teams, Tennessee is still pretty darn good at just beating the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm. Or they come back like they did against Vanderbilt and just.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a game where, like, I mean, fire him. We're done. Like, this is over. This has all come to an end, and then we come storming back and all's well.
Yeah, Butch Jones 2016 vibes at Vanderbilt in the first quarter of that game. And, it's great. Like, Tennessee kind of, after being down multiple scores early and really not taking the lead until, like, midway through the second quarter, basically the whole second half, they just played ground control and ran the clock.
Yeah. And that was kind of Oklahoma too. I mean, and I feel like some of that was due to the injury at tackle. Like they just ran the football. Like, let's get out of here with a win. And
they tried to pass it. didn't work.
Well, that's what I was saying. Oklahoma's defense
Yeah.
was good, so like it didn't feel like Tennessee had a bunch of other good options against Oklahoma. And Thornton got hurt in the Vanderbilt game, and he was the guy they couldn't guard. But it kind of still felt like Tennessee could have thrown the ball pretty well in that game, or could have been more aggressive and had success. Whereas Oklahoma, it was like you can't pass block, they can't do anything offensively. You got to lead, just take the air out of the ball and get to the finish line.
Sure. What's I just got a few more questions here for you, Ryan. Who's a guy that maybe Tennessee fans aren't talking about enough right now? Who's an underrated guy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think defensively is where my head goes first. I think Edwin Spillman is one that I think is going to play
He's
lot
a monster,
this year.
right?
He's the Hulk, according to William Inge. All right, here's a little verbal meme. We'll see. I'll scrap it if y'all don't. Y'all know Parks and Rec? Have y'all watched Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
William Inge is to Chris Traeger as Rodney Garner is to Ron Swanson when it's like the motivating Jerry episode. How do you give him encouragement? Like William Inge is hyping up all his guys talking to media, and then Rodney Garner, he could have a 2-time All-American, and he'd be like, he's not close to where he needs to be. He's not proven anything.
Yeah.
But yes, but Spillman I'm high on. I think it said a lot that he played in that Vanderbilt game after missing the entire season and the game being competitive and then playing him in tight spots. So he's a guy I'm excited about. I think his ceiling's higher than T-Landers. And all those guys are going to play, but he's a guy I could see emerging as one of their top backers. And then, the safety battle, I think, is sneakily one I'm very intrigued by with Caleb Beasley and Idris Farouk. Farouk, I think, is a really high ceiling guy. If he can be pretty sound in pass coverage, and Tennessee's done such a good job of limiting big plays in the passing game, and that's, I think, in large part to kind of the veteran nature of their safeties. If Farouk can be solid there, I think he's got some of that Jacoby Thomas, like being able to come up in the run game and make plays. So those are two guys that I would say. And then offensively, I think everybody kind of knows who the options are because there's few of them, but I think Travis Smith's looked good. I just think he's a guy that played high-level high school football, a position that it's easier to play early as a true freshman, and very much looks the part. And I don't know how much we see him this year just because you have two veterans ahead of him, but Jack Van Dorselaer at tight end, I'm really high on. He looks another one of those freshmen I should have mentioned earlier. Does not look like a freshman, moves really well. I think is going to be very much kind of in the Miles Kitselman. He's not that big yet, but in the way that Kitselman's a really good run blocker and also a good receiving threat, I could see Dorselaer being that. And probably not going to be the case this year, but I could see him pushing for some playing time this year, especially if there is an injury ahead of him.
Has Travis Smith Jr., has he turned 18 yet? Or do we have our own 17-year-old this year? I know he's younger.
That's some research I need to do. It's honestly better for me if he is a 17-year-old because I'm at most of these games, so I don't have to hear him talk about it. Everybody else is going to be the ones. Maybe on the rewatch, I might have to mute it some when I'm watching the game back on Sunday or something. But it wouldn't be nearly as bad as Ryan Williams to where I'm actually watching those Alabama games on TV and I got to hear him talk about it every 5 minutes.
But is it not like super motivating for an incoming freshman to come in and be like, I could be that? Whereas, like,
100%.
But then people hate you for something completely out of your control.
Well, that's true. But you're also
Ryan Williams is just getting it on the internet because people have to hear about how old he is every time the ball's snapped.
That's true. He also was like a freshman All-American, so whatever. But it's got to be big for those, Travis Smith or Darius Jackson and be like, hey, like I have an opportunity here to be that same type of guy.
Yeah. And even, obviously Jeremiah Smith's better than Ryan Williams is. The Wingo kid at Texas as a true freshman had a fantastic year. Like there were a bunch of examples. Cam Coleman at Auburn had a good year, even despite having zero quarterback play around them. So there's a lot of examples of recently and just in general of freshman receivers who were highly touted guys coming in and having early success. And again, you watch Travis Smith and it's easy to see why Georgia was pushing really, really hard to flip him.
Sure. Speaking of Auburn, I mean, Hugh Freeze is the first SEC coach to get fired this year, right?
Oh man, It's him or yeah. I mean, I was gonna say Napier, but the thing about I think for the things to fall apart early for Napier, it would be Lagway not playing. Which how at Tennessee is this? And look, this may not end up happening. Tennessee finally plays Florida in November, which is what they've wanted for forever. DJ Lagway is gonna miss the first month of the season now. Like obviously no one's saying that, but he's still not practicing. It just kind of feels like this is heading in the direction of him not playing early. It's to be like, of course, the one time Tennessee gets him late.
Well, we would just lose to Harrison Bailey, which would be even worse. So
that's a good point. That would match the Tennessee Florida vibes. So
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that like in the SEC that I mean, Hugh is full hot seat. I feel like there's a number of other guys, Brian Kelly being an example of like seats maybe not burning up right now. Mark Stoops another one, but I don't know. It feels like if things go sideways, very well could see some of these guys lose their job
by killing someone.
Whoa!
Y'all see the LSU hype video they posted?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a threat. I reported it to my local FBI office. I took it personally.
Crazy work.
What do you think when that? Probably an intern that edited that was yelled at about it. Do you think they were answered when they asked, "What's the big deal?"
There was a long pause.
Yeah,
they were answered.
Yeah,
I do like the thought of Tennessee blurring out the quarterback in a video where Colton Hood makes a good interception and LSU posting a video. Just the first scene of it is
I told Landon we should edit it and just blur out the TV tower. Keep the tower in, just blur it out.
That would be good. That would be good.
I don't know what comes next. Like that TV tower, I don't think can be topped. Tennessee's close, blowing at, like, probably. Landon thinks it was Jake Merklinger. I don't know why. I
thought it was two numbers getting blurred out.
Okay. Well, we were doing some investigative journalism on it, and one of the people thought that it was at least not Merklinger because they thought it was from today, and Merklinger had different color pants on. I can't remember exactly what it was, and like maybe gray pants on, and the guy in the video had white or something. It could be reverse. But then teamwork aspect, we stepped in. Mike Matthews didn't practice today, and it has shoulder pads on, so it had to be from yesterday's practice, Saturday's practice. And then we went back and looked at the photos we had, and all the quarterbacks had the same color pants on. So we were not able to get to the bottom of it, but we tried to looking at the color of the pants.
Yeah, I just think if it's George McIntyre, is it blurred out? I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it would be that big of a deal.
Yeah. So that's why I think it's Merklinger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Josh Heupel.
It would match.
Mosley. Who knows?
It would match what we were saying earlier of Merklinger not being like that being a question mark. How good of a deep ball does he throw? That wasn't a very good deep ball. That ball was underthrown. Whoever threw it, that ball was underthrown.
Yeah.
Matthews had half a step on him.
Yeah, got to be a little bit better than that.
I like that you all dug into like pants color and stuff. I think we need to get pictures from yesterday. Look at like sock length, pants length. Like we need to really get into this.
My favorite, y'all are talking about the routes on air stuff, which is obviously hilarious on its own. My favorite is GoPro watch. Which quarterback has the GoPro on their helmet each day? I've been throwing that into my practice observation.
Do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing?
That's what we've also had that conversation. Is it your eyes aren't in the right spot? We need you to have this to watch the film and show you, or is it?
I want to see what
you're the guy. We want to see everything on you. I don't get why. Do they not have multiple GoPros? They not have GoPros.
I would think they could acquire them if they wanted to.
Yeah,
I would assume.
Come on now. Yeah, like that's the part.
They spend it all in the car wash. All that money's invested somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't know. That's
what you do. You go buy them a GoPro, give them an extra one, but then you have the Bluetooth link
hook it up.
You can see all of practice as well. It's a trade-off. They get a new GoPro, you get practice film.
I get practice film. I think that's a good deal. That's a good trade.
I like that. So you said there's only one. Is there multiple people that have a GoPro on? Or is it just one?
There's two, but it's always Aaron Carter on defense, or it has been every day. Aaron Carter on defense and one of the quarterbacks.
Okay.
Jake or Joey. Jake had it the first 2 days, at least that I noticed it. Maybe someone had it on the first practice and I just didn't notice it. He had it on practices 2 and 3, and then Joey had it on today.
I feel like that would be, does it, I know they got something like rigged up where it's not like moving. I just feel like there's no way it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. It would bother me, but
Yeah.
I'm not an SEC football player. As I joked about frequently before the Ohio State game was, I can promise you the cold would bother me. I don't know if it'll bother these guys. The cold would bother me if I was playing.
So you're not going out there warming up without a shirt on?
No.
Okay.
I'm going out. I might be warming up in like the quarterback like thick jackets you see the NFL quarterbacks wear when they're playing in Green Bay. I might be warming up in that, honestly.
I just don't warm up. I just don't go out there.
In college, I would practice
stretch in the locker room.
My pads. Yeah. Like I do not deal with the cold either. Hate it.
It's awful. Awful.
Well, I remember we played a soccer game. It was in May, actually. It was just stupid. And it was snowing in Kingsport, Tennessee. And we went up to play Dobbins Bennett, and they were warming up inside. And everyone was like, I don't know why you do that. Like, you're not going to be used to it. I was like, if we could, I would. I wouldn't think about it again. I wouldn't be out there till I had to be.
Exactly.
Insane.
That's fantastic.
I got one last question for you, Ron. Right now, are you doing the unthinkable and picking Tennessee to beat Florida in the swamp?
No, I'm not. But I think it's more likely than Alabama or Georgia. Okay. And I do think I talked tongue in cheek about the DJ Lagway stuff. Like, that aside, I think it's better for Tennessee that the game is late. It's just so hard to project. And Florida has so much hype going into this year, largely on Lagway's shoulders. And the schedule is still super hard. So, like, I think it's just hard to know what Florida's going to look like. And Tennessee, too. Yeah. But I think especially Florida. I think the range of what Florida could look like the penultimate week of the season is the bigger range in Tennessee. So that's the aspect that it's like we talk about this game because it's a super important game. I just think it could look completely different when we get there than what all the projections would state.
Yeah, you got to see it to believe it. I get it. I'm the same.
Yeah, 100%. It's the combination of Heupel doesn't have the best track record on the road in these big games, and you combine that with some of the ways Tennessee has lost games and games they've just not showed up in Gainesville. It's hard to fully pull the trigger on it, but we'll see.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Ryan, great having you on again. Really appreciate the time and looking forward to seeing more of your riding as a 3-sport rider.
That's exactly right. But appreciate you guys having me on. It was fun, and we'll have to do it again at some point during the season.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right. See you guys.
See you, man.
See you. Jinx.
Wait, what?
Jinx. You have a Coke?
I got you.
We said, see you, Ryan, and thanks.
I got you.
At the same time.
I have some here for you. It's literally for you.
Dr. Pepper or Cokes?
Whatever. Soda.
I
think there's Dr. Pepper in there and Coke.
There has been Dr. Peppers for a while, and I've just been drinking them when I've been over there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still
for you. I don't think anybody else drinks them, so.
I know there's been some drink. I don't know if they've all been drink. And someone else is there. You better get some eyes on that fridge because someone is drinking them.
It might be Uncle Steven. He might get one.
Freaking people's elbow next time over there. Yeah. Golly.
It might be him.
Uncle Steven. Dude, he can get those for free at Food City if you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, that would basically be his whole paycheck if he did buy them. So.
Nah, he could just take them. It's fine.
Yeah. What are you going to do, really?
You going to fire him?
Yeah.
Dare you?
Yeah. He'd probably be like, cool.
He would love to tell me he got fired. He would love it.
That man is a ride or die for Food City. Like anytime I'm like, hey, I gotta go to the store. He's like, Food City. Like he
doesn't let you go to Kroger.
He's like, hey man, like don't you dare go to Walmart and buy groceries.
I'm with him on that. Kroger though, you find a good Kroger, you hang on to it. They're good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we do not have a good Kroger.
The one in Seymour's okay.
Okay. That one is. Which one's closer, you think?
I would honestly think the one in Seymour might be just a little bit closer.
Really?
Just a hair, if it is.
Okay. I would like to time that.
If you go over the mountain there.
Yeah, but if you go to Newbert Springs.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Go over the mountain to that one. That Kroger may be a hair closer.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll do it one day. We'll time it. All right. Great stuff from Ryan there. Really appreciate him hopping on and giving us a little season preview of what he's been seeing at practice. And
we're gonna get his media credentials revoked.
Yeah, probably
with those ideas of espionage. They're gonna hear that and be like, "Yeah, we can't chance it, bud."
Yeah, sorry. Somebody's definitely thought of it before. It was probably. Actually, Eric Kane told us to do that.
Nice. Yeah, Eric Kane said he's been doing it for years, decades even. He said he's been doing it.
And he's on. I think he only covers
covering the team,
football and baseball, so he's only a 2-sport writer.
They should go make him. They should just go make him cover baseball only.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan is way more athletic writer than Eric Kane.
Okay. I didn't say it, Eric.
He's got like
is he doing are we almost back to the time of year where Eric Kane's on our TVs?
We need to be.
Well, I mean, is he doing Rivalry Thursday again?
He is. Yeah, he is doing it.
Which is it back on TV or is it streaming?
I don't know what it is. Because I don't have cable, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you could watch it on Hulu if it's on TV.
Is it like it's on a? It used to be on like my
VLT, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not anymore, is it?
I thought it was supposed to move to WATE, but I don't know if it ever did.
Okay,
let's check it out. Let's see where.
Yeah, people are scrimmaging, so I'm loving some high school football in the air.
Thursday, August 21st, Halls at Oak Ridge is the first one. Okay. Oh, they're doing Thursday and Friday games this year.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Same week, Anderson County at Powell. Okay.
Anderson County, I think, has like a pretty like high-level quarterback.
I think they have a pretty good roster. I think some players that transferred there at one point, I think transferred there at one point or another. So
awesome. Good for them.
I don't know for sure, but
all right, well, let's talk about this tight end group real quick, and then we'll get you guys out of here. What's your initial reaction? I guess isn't the right word. Initial thoughts on the tight end group as a whole.
I think it's a strong group. I like them, especially if, like you and I have talked about multiple times on the show, if Ethan Davis kind of comes into his own this year, I think that probably ends up being one of your strongest groups on the offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think it's your most experienced group, especially on offense. Maybe the entire team, if Ethan Davis can have like a breakout year finally, which he wasn't bad last year. I think he was just kind of overlooked. But Tennessee did have a pretty good tight end room last year as well with Kitzelman and Holden Stays. Kitzelman had right over, I think, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had 22 catches. They had 35 catches combined, the two of them, with 6 touchdowns. And I think the tight end group is such a vital part of the offense with, the run blocking. I mean, we mentioned earlier that Tennessee ran for close to 3,000 yards last year. They had 7 of Tennessee's 21 passing touchdowns last year. So, I mean, this group can like take a lot of pressure off a quarterback. And then when you add in the experience that they do have and the talent that's there, I think that's a lot to like about this tight end room.
Yeah, I agree. I like this group a lot. It's encouraging too to hear that Ryan likes Van Dorselaer a lot.
Yeah, had a really big spring game, and from what I've read, it's kind of like kicked Deshaun Brame into a different level as well. Whereas like Van Dorselaer came in as more of a blocking tight end, similar to Miles Kitzelman, and has been really good in the passing game as well. And Deshaun Brame, like obviously athleticism and catching the football is what, I mean, the kid returned punts as a high school football player. So the athleticism and pass catching ability has been there. It's been the physicality that's been something to keep an eye on for Deshaun Brame, but apparently he's picked it up a notch, and we'll see which one of those. I mean, one of them is going to have to play. I don't think Cole Harrison is going to be, there to start the season, dealt with an injury. So we'll see where he's at. But I think one of those freshmen are going to play. Which one is it? Which one are they more comfortable with? Is it more of a Joshua Joseph, James Pierce freshman year where Deshaun Brain probably has the most upside out of the two, but Joshua Joseph was just more physical at the time to handle the SEC schedule, and that's why he played. And then obviously you saw the jump James Pierce made in year 2 and ended up being a first-round draft pick. So I think we could see maybe something like that where Jack Van Doorslayer plays over Deshaun Brain. But from what Ryan was saying, I mean, maybe he just takes that spot and runs with it. Who knows? And I think if Ethan Davis, if it doesn't all click for him, I mean, there is 2 high-level freshmen there, nipping at his heels.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think the biggest strength is with this group? Like experience? What do you think?
No, because I don't think it's the biggest strength necessarily, because really Miles Kitselman's the only one with real experience. Ethan Davis has a little bit, but not a ton. I think the biggest strength is the overall what's the right word? Flexibility, the ways they're able to play tight end. Like you have guys who can be productive and run block, but you have guys who can go downfield for a pass too, and not just one guy or two. Like you have multiples. I think the biggest is that you have a bunch of true tight ends in this group. It's not where in college you usually have a good pass catcher or a good run blocker. It's hard to find a mix of both, and you have several guys who can do both in this group.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think experience is definitely a strength. I don't know if it's the biggest one, but I think just playing games in the SEC within this offense is big. And it's kind of a group where, I mean, last year no one knew who Miles Kitselman was when he committed. He had 2 career catches in his first 2 years at Alabama, and comes here as like a depth piece and ends up winning the job. And now he's, a lot of people claim he's one of the best tight ends in college football. I mean, he's not going to have the stats like Tyler Warren or Brock Bowers or anything like that. But as a true NFL tight end, Miles Kitselman fits that mold perfectly.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think just having a guy of, his experience is big for this group, because it's not really, that offense just doesn't have a lot of guys like that. And I think just him winning that job last year and kind of the journey he's had, I think probably made him, it's like, hey man, you don't really have a choice. You kind of have to be a leader, because everybody else is like newcomer, sophomore, freshman. So we need a guy like you to come in and take on that leadership role within the offense. It feels like he's done a good job doing that. Anything else with what do we think? Like, let's go. Who has the most touchdowns?
I'd be shocked if it's not Miles Kitselman. I think it could be Ethan Davis, but I think it's Miles Kitselman. I think he'll have the most looks, most opportunities.
Yeah, I think so too. And the good thing about tight ends, like Tennessee plays 2 tights a lot, especially last year when they didn't really trust those tackles a whole lot. So I think having 2 guys that are more than capable of, creating mismatches and stuff for opposing defenses is big.
Yeah. I do hope we see more of that set, because I think you can do even more stuff out of it with the tight ends you have now.
Yeah.
Not just running the football, which you still can do out of 12 personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Do we just go full on 22 personnel? Like 2 running backs, 2 tight ends? Run the damn ball, Cotton.
I mean, if we have any more injuries at receiver, you might have to. Or it could be where, hey, Deshaun Brain, like, go out there and you're basically a receiver right now. Or at Ethan Davis, you're basically a receiver right now.
Is it crazy that Coach Cotton's based on Hugh Freeze? Isn't that wild?
Is it really?
Yeah, he was Michael Orr's coach in high school.
Cotton, huh?
From The Blind Side?
Is that Cotton? Was his last name Cotton?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Cotton was from Dodgeball.
No, wait, what? No. Is
Yeah,
there
that's-
Cotton in dodgeball?
Bold strategy, Cotton.
Oh, I don't think his name's Cotton. I think he just refers to him as Cotton. Or no, his name is Cotton, but what is it?
I think that's his last name.
Yeah.
It's one of the announcers.
Yes, but I can't remember his. Yeah, it is. It's that's Jason Bateman is the guy that says bold strategy Cotton. Yeah. So in Blindside, his name is Coach Cotton. I didn't get a first name.
Okay.
And he kind of looks like Derek Dooley based on Hugh Freeze, which is interesting.
He does look like Derek Dooley. Just a petite man.
I mean, how many men get referred to as petite? That's
Derek Dooley.
That's wild.
Derek Dooley for sure. Who else is a petite man?
You're gonna say Jay Johnson, but I have to push back on that one because he's not petite. He's got some thickness to him, you know.
Sully's got some thickness to him. Jay Johnson is pretty petite.
I think he's too thick.
Well, he also wears like the windbreakers that look like he's bigger. It's kind of a It's kind of a fat guy move. I think he's lying to us. I think he is really petite, trying to look bigger.
I shouldn't have put you on a Jay Johnson, but yeah, sure.
Beamer is petite.
Is he?
I think so. Yeah.
He's got to be taller. He looks taller, is he not?
I don't know. Let's Google how tall Shane Beamer is.
Didn't he play college football somewhere? I don't think so. Okay.
I can't find his height. I think he's
okay, hold on. Steve K. Snyder on Twitter from Central Illinois tweeted in December of 2024, Shane Beamer looks like a midget who got his height from his 5'10" uncle. What does that mean?
I love that, honestly.
Dude, this is wild. Someone else responded, found this trying to Google Shane Beamer's height. We did too.
I mean, it's literally like his height is not readily available.
I'm retweeting it. I think you should do.
Scrape the internet of his height. That gives petite vibes, honestly.
Is he that? He's not short, is he?
I don't know. Apparently, if he was 6'2", like it would be out there.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, how many coaches' heights are readily available? He said he played wide receiver at Virginia Tech.
Because his dad was a coach.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying he should have a roster somewhere where it says it.
What's Drinkwitz's height?
Oh, he's short. He's petite. That's a petite man.
It doesn't give his height either. They scraped it, man. All the short kings are scraping their. Ooh, Nick Saban is a petite man.
He doesn't have petite vibes though. I'll give him that. He does have small man syndrome, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard not to have that. If you yell as a short man, you kind of just get that, unfortunately.
Saban's 5'6".
There's no way he's only 5'6".
That's what I said.
Where? There's no way.
Google it.
Pull up my man's Kent State roster. There's no way.
Google it.
5'6". I mean,
Dude,
he looks
a little
small.
man.
He looks small next to Alabama players, but he doesn't look 5'6".
Beamer's 5'5".
There's no way. Beamer's 5'5". There's no way. That's not possible.
He is in like all of his commercials, he is sitting down. So
think about like Nick Saban next. Like if he was 5'6", think about how small he would look next to all these guys. He already looks small.
that's
because what's the gymnastics girl we were talking about the other night?
Simone Biles.
She's like 5'2". I don't even know if she's 5'2".
She's small.
4'11" maybe.
Yeah.
You're telling me Nick Saban's barely a half a foot taller than her?
Petite.
There's no way.
I'm glad we got on that. That's funny.
Where did
Shane Bieber's 5'5" until we figure out otherwise.
like, dude, here's Nick Saban standing next to Jalen Hurts.
That's Bryce Young, who is a
Bryce
petite man
Young
as well.
He's like 5'9", though.
Yeah,
they're
petite.
virtually the same height.
Yeah, but Nick is like he's got his chest bowed out. Bryce Young's kind of slumped over a little bit. Dude, that's
all right. There's
that's
Bryce Young in a helmet with his shoulders rolled back.
I'm gonna see if there.
Okay, see what AJ is that AJ McCarron? Yes. Dang, dude, Nick. I knew Nick had some hair on him, but dang. Okay, here he's next to Jalen Hurts. Dude, he's almost like he's past his eyes. He's not 5'6". There's no way.
That's what Google says.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
he
got
may
the
be wearing some platforms. That's possible. Here's what's weird. You know, Derek Dooley used to coach in golf shoes.
Really?
I mean, he also coached in orange, very, very bright orange pants.
He also didn't recruit an offensive lineman, so that guy's a freaking idiot.
There's no way Shane Beamer's 5'5". There's just no way.
It would be hilarious if he actually is. I think Drinkowitz probably 5'5".
I mean, I gotta find I found pictures of it before of him coaching in golf shoes. He also apparently used to coach in loafers. There's a lot of loafer pictures out here.
Yeah, what was he wearing when he was sitting on that stool?
Okay, I mean, maybe those aren't golf shoes, but they look a lot like those Adidas golf shoes from that era.
Yeah. Got the spikes.
Oh,
all right.
Oh, yeah. Here you can see the spikes. I zoomed in on them.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is Derek Dooley, if you can't tell by the crotch. Just so people aren't like, you're an idiot. You're crazy. That is Derek Dooley in golf shoes. Why would you ever coach in golf shoes? That's wild.
Maybe they're on sale.
Not like, because there are golf shoes. I wear those Nike Air Maxes that don't even look like golf shoes. Those don't have spikes. His have spikes.
Yeah, that's crazy. We got some questions. First one, who is the blurred quarterback? I don't know.
I think it's Josh Heupel.
I think it's Nico.
Oh, maybe came back.
Also, who's the most? I'll read that right. What freshman are you most excited to see? I think right now, like today, I mean, probably Travis Smith is up there for me. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
David Sanders is going to be one, but I think a lineman's probably hard to say. Like, I'm super excited to see him out there, but I'm going to go Travis Smith Jr.
If the offensive line as a whole is really good, I'm very excited for David Sanders. But
sure.
That's more than just on him, but that's the only way I could be excited for him. Yeah, probably Travis Smith.
Okay. Also, really like DeJuan Morris. I think he's going to be good. I don't know if it's this year, but I think he is going to be a Really good player for Tennessee down the road. What's your first drink of choice at the tailgate?
It's a 3 p.m. game. So probably an early tailgate. So coffee, maybe with something a little extra in it, or mimosa. Open up the day strong. After that, hazy IPA, which I just found a Sierra Nevada peach hazy IPA.
Ooh.
Haven't tried it yet, but I bought it.
Okay.
I don't know how long it'll be around. Sounds very like summer drink.
But
I love peach. I love peaches. I just had a peach ice cream from Brewster's yesterday. Phenomenal.
Dude, do you know a Sugar Queen is opening a donut shop behind Waffle House?
Cool. No Richie cream.
That's true. I forget you're not Sono anymore.
No, I'm not.
That's crazy, man.
I got ran out of there, man. You gotta survive. They didn't want me. They said, we don't want you anymore. I left.
I get it. There was a house across the street is for sale, and they had an open house today, and it was madness.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, hundreds of cars. My dad came by, and
did you stand out in your underwear, try to scare some off?
I texted Nick, who's selling the house, and I was like, should I wave to all these people and tell them I have a lot of fertilizer like they do in Step Brothers?
That, or man, I mean, just start shooting a gun in the air, run those people out of there.
Yeah,
keep those property values, keep those property taxes down.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. My first drink would probably be like I like a mimosa in the morning. I'm also like I have 1 Celsius a week, and that's usually on Saturdays. So I like to pop a Celsius, get the juices flowing a little bit, and then I'm a summer shandy guy until they don't have them. So later in the fall, I'll probably switch over to whatever's cold. I like a neutral or a high noon. I'm into those. So
okay, I like it.
Yep. All right, a little stupidity. We got any?
Let's do some digging. I did want to talk about the LSU video, which we did. Then I have a not a stupidity. Do we want to go to that next, or let's see?
Mine was going to be the nachos being sold without cheese. That's insane.
Any others? Because I've got, I guess, most important.
I was going to say Hugh Freeze that saying that you need length and girth in this league.
Nice. He's not wrong.
He's
I mean,
not
here
wrong.
you are talking about all these petite little men going in on him. I mean, he just wants the opposite of petite.
Okay. A little opposite of what you are.
Yeah. Is Hugh Freeze petite too? Hugh Freeze isn't petite. I've seen him in a hospital bed.
No, I don't think he is.
Okay. Did you see the Portland Pickles? You seen this video?
They brought a guy out?
Random fan for fan appreciation night.
Is that real?
It looks real.
I mean, it's an absolute tank.
He also apparently had an at-bat and was walked, and so they gave him another at-bat to make up for it. And then got it up to a 3-2 count, and then nuked.
I mean, what do you do with that pitcher after?
Well, the pitcher quits. You don't have to do anything with him because he quit.
Oh, he quit?
No, like shouldn't he have to?
Oh, yeah, that's what I think. I mean, hey, man, your dreams of making the MLB, it's done.
It is a summer ball league for what it's worth.
Okay, so it's not a true minor.
From what I gathered, I guess I haven't done enough research to verify, but from what I gathered,
it's still insane.
It's still nuts.
Good for that guy. Sign him. How
He's
old
in
is he?
short-
Is he like 40?
He looks young.
Okay.
I feel like we would probably find out it's a guy who played college baseball like 6 years ago or something.
Okay.
Right? Like based on everything we see.
Yeah. Makes sense. I love that though. That's awesome. I think we need more of that.
Agreed.
But I also agree, like I would love the fact where they're horrible and they strike out every time. Like that's funny too.
I think we got the way funnier version. They were also up like
Not
10
from
to
the
4.
pitcher's perspective.
They were already losing. He was just trying to end the game.
Mm.
He was trying to get run ruled. He threw him a meatball.
He did. Somebody was like, "Are we really celebrating a guy who hit one right down the middle?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he hit a tank."
Dude, I would celebrate a fan who just made contact with the baseball.
Right. All right. I think that's all. Got a little, I guess, most important. We kind of mentioned it already, but Blake Bird gets called up. He will play with play against the Smokies this week in Knoxville. I think I'm going on Wednesday. And then Christian Moore did his rehab assignment. Will be back with the Angels. So looking forward to seeing those guys. Jordan Beck has also hit a home run in 2 straight games.
Yeah.
Went off Paul Skeens yesterday. So yeah, he's rolling. So yeah, good to see Tennessee baseball sprinkled around the pros there.
Absolutely.
All right. Guys, thank y'all so much for listening. Kind of a longer episode, but we want to get Ryan on, kind of give a little season preview and break down the tight ends. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't already, go visit or go sign up for a golf tournament. It will be on October 4th. Also, go check out our good friends at VIP Play. Use promo code MORETN. Again, MORETN will bet just $5, get $100 in bonus bet. Also, our new hats are in. If you want one, DM us. We can make that happen for you. The great people of Hovey Dry Goods provided these to us. So looking forward to seeing a lot of people throughout Neyland Stadium with them, hopefully. And yeah, just more. More can mean whatever. Anything. More beer. More liquor.
More tequila.
Yeah.
More beer.
Whatever it is. So thank y'all again. Have a great week. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.